guess what? When we finished ministering, as we were going to the back to enter the bishop's car, the music ministers that just played instrument, they were smoking. The fact that you are a woman does not mean you can lead women's ministry. Why don't we have women leading men's ministry? Who told you a woman cannot lead a man's ministry? Why must it be women's ministry? Hello? Because these are problems. Problems. When I got married, as I was getting married, I told my wife, I'm marrying you for myself, not for ministry. Don't come in here, demanding respect, demanding position. You come, you don't demand it, you command it. Your gift will make room for you. Just focus on doing what God has called you to do, and you grow into your own. By the time she came, there was somebody else that was the head of the women's ministry in the church. And I already knew she's not into women's ministry. I already knew. So I said, this is going to... And guess what? One day she told me she's going for a conference, a women's conference, where many pastors' wives and people from all over the world will gather. So I sat her down. I said, I am not against you going for this women's conference, but as you go, prepare your mind. Because you are going to be sitting down with a lot of first ladies, a lot of women of God, whose only sense of what is who they are married to. People that don't know they have served, they have not discovered. The only thing they know about themselves is that they are married to a man of God. Listen to me. Are you ready for this? Wealth is not sexually transmitted. Calling is not sexually transmitted. That you are married to a pastor means that you will do pastoral work. It means that you will be able to be in a pastoral position. But it doesn't mean you are a pastor. You will do the work, but you may not necessarily be called for it. But because you are married to a pastor, you will have to do something. So see, guess what? My wife got there. It was supposed to be a 4-day meeting. The second day, she told me she's coming back home. She's not doing it again. I said, why are you coming back home? She said, it's worse than what you said. I said, what happened? Everybody she met. Oh, how are you? What church? Who is your husband? What church? How many thousands of people do you have? How many services do you run? Identity crisis. People that have not discovered their value except based on the fact that they are a first lady sitting in front chair. So she didn't tell them who her husband was. She said, I'm married to you. She said, are you the GO's wife or a branch pastor or under pastor? What has that got to do with the women's conference? Hello? And then they now asked her, are you the one in charge of the women's ministry? She said, no. Somebody said, how can somebody else be handling women's ministry in your husband's church? Are you sure your husband does not have something with that woman? That's where she drew the line and said, I'm going home. This is more terrible than I thought. So the fact that your husband has put somebody as a head of women, it doesn't now mean that they're having something together. But you know that's how many women will come and they will hear those things. It will affect them and they'll begin to trouble their husband. You must remove that woman. I have to be the one there. You must remove that woman. Hello? Establishing the wrong roles for your pastor or your family is an error. Listen to me. Are you ready for this? Are you sure you are ready? There are called men and chosen women. There are couples. When we talk about ministry as couples, there are men that are called and women that are chosen to marry the men that are called. So the man is called, the woman is chosen. Are you ready for this? There are called women and chosen men, where the woman is the one that is called, but the man is chosen to support the woman. Hello? I have one of my daughters, a mentee. She's an overseer of a ministry. She started the ministry and she got married. Unfortunately, she married the wrong person. This guy married her, but the guy is still sleeping around, came into the church, sleeping with church member. But because of patriarchal Africa, the man said, you must put my picture on the poster so that they will know I'm your husband. The woman is not of the ministry, a church, over 1,000 members. Do you know what the guy now said? The guy now came and said, you know what? I must be preaching at least one Sunday every month. A fornicator, an adulterer. And the woman was confused. If I say he will not preach, they will say I'm dishonoring my husband. I said, look, ministry is not your family affair. Because many people are trying to, I'm telling you, you have no idea. I have sat down with people whose marriages are over. But instead of them to face reality, they'll go and open a branch, send their wife to pastor that branch. So husband is pastoring one branch, wife is pastoring another one to settle marital issue with God's church. Hello? And guess what? There are called men and called women. Where the man is called, the woman is equally called. So you need to identify what your own uniqueness is. The same thing goes for children. The fact that you gave birth to your children does not mean your children will take over the ministry. There is nothing wrong in your children taking over the ministry if they are called to do it. There's nothing wrong. But many of what we see today is biology, not divine. Not divine. So you have children that have not known God. I hope you know that many of your children are not born again. I hope you are not deceiving yourself that your children are born again because they are in church. Many of your children are not born again. They were born in church, but they are not born again. That's why we keep deceiving ourselves. Oh, my children go to Christian school. They go to Christian university. Far, 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 far. There is no Christian school anywhere. There is no Christian university anywhere because there is no Christian curriculum. The academic curriculum by the Ministry of Education is not Bible. So you can't be deceiving yourself. Do you know we deal with youth ministry? Do you know the atrocities going on in the so-called Christian university? Do you know the atrocities going on? And you are fooling yourself? Listen to me, there are three people you cannot lie to. Your doctor, your lawyer, and your pastor. What we know about people's children, if they know, they will fall down and die. There are things you know, information you have, that you cannot afford to even tell the parents because they will not believe. They will even leave you and say you are framing their children. Hello? So the same children that you think are what they are not, you now put them in charge of something. A church, the overseer's child impregnated a girl, and they arranged for both her and the girl to go abroad. Nobody knew. The girl went, delivered the child in secret. They brought them back to Nigeria, arranged a wedding. And everybody gathered to celebrate a wedding of a girl that was impregnated out of wedlock that already has a child. 1 year later, they now said they adopted a child. And the guy is pastoring one of the biggest branch of his father's ministry now. Who is fooling who? Who did this to us? Where does all this compromise and nonsense come from? Be not deceived. God is not mocked. So your wife, your children, beautiful, but don't position them where God has not positioned them. Don't do that. Why? Because we are sending a wrong signal. And that's one of the reasons why disloyalty is very rife in the church of God today. Because there are many things we have unconsciously displayed that have sent a wrong signal to people. How many of you remember Samuel? I hope you remember that Samuel was a great man of God. Samuel was brought up under Eli. And you remember under Eli we had Ophni and Phinehas. And Eli was a great man of God that made mistake in the upbringing of his children. You will have thought that Samuel, growing up in that system, will see the error and not duplicate the error. But guess what? The children of Samuel became worse than Samuel. Hello? When the children of Samuel began to mess up in the city, in order for people not to know, you know what Samuel did? He sent them abroad. He sent his children to other cities so that they will not be at home for people to see the error. But what they did in the other cities started smelling back to the headquarters. 1 Samuel chapter 8 from verse 1. Let's go and see so that you see this is in the Bible. Not be today. 1 Samuel chapter 8 from verse 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his son judges over. Who made his son judges? Not God, him. God didn't choose. He chose his children. Say, oh yeah, you're my son. And do that branch. You go to Port Harcourt. You go to Abuja. You go to London branch. Who sent them? Are they called? Are they equipped? Do they have what it takes? This thing is not by biology. Look at the next verse. Now the name of his first son was Joel. The name of his second son Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. He sent them away to Beersheba. Look at verse 3. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment. Look at verse 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel to say, your children are a disgrace. But he positioned them. And we are seeing the same thing, the same mistake happening today. The same mistake where we are practicing mafia management. Where we look for ways to hedge people out, to make room for our sons and our daughters. Listen to me. 48 laws of power, mafia manager, Machiavellian principle. These are all books that the mafia have put together. You see, mafia has existed for thousands of years. These are principles of what we call Machiavellian principle of mafia management. And that is what many pastors are using today. Because according to the mafia principle, go and watch Godfather. Godfather part 1, part 2, part 3. You see the Italian mafia structure. That's what many churches are running. Because what you need to do is that when your children grow up and you want to hand over to your children, you must kill everybody that can stop your children. So you come up with a policy to eliminate everybody so that your children will rise to the top. It's there in your Bible. Hello? Number 3. Promoting talent over integrity. Promoting talent over integrity. These are mistakes we have made. These are mistakes that churches are making. These are mistakes that pastors are making. Promoting talent over integrity. Please, some of these things are controversial. But if nobody is going to tell us the truth, let's tell ourselves the truth or else we are deceiving ourselves. Let's sit down and ask ourselves some basic question. How can you give microphone to somebody to stand on your altar that you know is openly gay? And is the person that you now say, God is a God of grace. You give them altar. People are coming to your altar to come and sing. Listen, they are coming to sing. You pay them 5 million to come and sing for 10 minutes. And your choir director and your choir members, you have not given them 30,000. And you are wondering why people are not loyal. Hello? You are not paying your staff salary. You are telling them to believe God. But your accountant is the one that will sign a check to give a music minister 5 million for 10 minutes ministration. Whereas it's 120,000 salary you have not paid. And we are saying people are not loyal. Let's think again. Oh. So none of your music minister can sing. All the people you are bringing as celebrity music minister is somebody that raised them, that gave them platform. If you give your own platform, they will also blow. Are we saying don't invite music minister? No. Are we saying don't pay them? No. But let's balance this thing. Because many of the people you are bringing, you know they are not living right. You know. It's not that you're assuming. You know. Some of them are climbing your pulpit. 3 people are pregnant for them now. And they are still pregnant. And you give them microphone because they are popular. They will bring crowd. They bring the crowd. But the cloud of glory will not come. I was ministering on a mega platform in America. Mega. 2003, I will never forget. That was the day I told myself, I would rather follow God's path. Because when man make you, they will make you. A major TV station in America was looking for an African that they will package. An African they will package and position because they wanted to enter into Africa. And I was shortlisted as one of the 3 people that they wanted, because I was doing Wisdom for Singles. And Wisdom for Singles had gone global, CNN, BBC. So they picked me as number 1. A guy from Uganda was picked as number 2. So they had a major conference that they wanted me to speak in to introduce me to the American audience. And I was in this conference, mega conference. My name was all over America. People were calling me Oreoti Mekel, Omo Oti Blow. 2003. Problem number 1. When I got to the hall, the entire hotel can only seat 2,000 people. But on the internet, they were publicizing that over 10,000 people were gathered. Lie. Number 2, they called me and said that you are going to be ministering tomorrow night, and we want you to raise an offering. And whatever offering you raise, 30% will be for you, 70% will be for us. I said, sorry, I don't do that. I don't get involved in those. I don't do transactional ministry. God is my source. I will not be involved. They said, no, you need to do something about that. Okay. By option number 3, when they wanted to introduce me, they said, we are welcoming an apostle from Africa. He's an apostle. He's a pastor. He has over 400 branches and over 10 million people following him. Line number 4. Where I sat down there, I told myself, Olumide, oh, belong to me. I was to do 3 sessions. I finished preaching. I did not raise offering, and they told me clearly, man of God, that was an error. You did not obey our agreement. I said, I did not agree with you that I was raising offering. If it's about love offering, don't give me anything. I'm okay. I'm not a poor man. But you know how amazing the service was? The amazing service was so glorious. The music was heavenly. And the man of God said, I should wait behind that. You would like to drop me in the hotel. Great. If you talk American preacher, it's number 1 or number 2. I'm telling you, major, mega. I was still in their conference last year. They did a leadership conference. When I got there, when people saw me, I didn't know people. They said, are you preaching? I said, no, I just came to attend. Say, I know you. You came in 2000. I don't know. Guess what? When we finished ministering, as we're going to the back to enter the bishop's car, the music ministers that just played instrument, they were smoking. They were smoking. And in Nigeria, even when you are smoking and you see a pastor coming, they were smoking and greeting the bishop. Hey, bishop, how you doing, man? They say, hey, guys, how you doing? That was a good one. Oh, shock me. Oh, shock me. I was shocked. So I entered this car and my mouth will not close. Because my mouth is my asset, but it's also my problem. So as we moved, I said, man of God, are those not the instrumentalists that just let the worship? So yes, I said, they are smoking. I said, do you think that's okay? He said, what problem do you have with that? Did you not feel the anointing? I said, well, he said, no, they are not our members. They are hired hands. But they are the best in the business. They are hired hands, but they are the blessed in the business. So how many hired hands do we have playing keyboard now? Yet fornicating. How many people are in choir lifting up on holy hands? And we wonder why the glory of God is not coming out. Runs girl on the pulpit. Gigolo on the pulpit. 419 on the pulpit. Area boys on the pulpit. And we are deceiving ourselves. Where is the power of God? Where is the power of God? The power cannot move in unholiness. Cannot move in unrighteousness. God is holy. Of course, that was the end. That was the end. The man looked at me and said, man of God, the plans we have for you, in the next 5 years, your name will be global. So, but if you have this kind of mind, you don't understand grace. You can't go far. I say, I would rather stay where I am and let God lead me. The man they took from Uganda, if I mention his name, many of you may not know, the guy, within 3 years, the guy became global. Became global all over from Uganda. Because they told me they're going to spend like $5 million. They will come to my church. They will set it up like a studio. I'm going to be broadcasting to America. They will put it, everything was planned. They have planned a book deal where they will pay me $1 million to write books. The man, because I stood against unrighteousness, I said, you can't do that. This is not God. That's how they remove it from there. By the time they put in that guy, I did not even know that for you to enter that realm, you must be gay. True life story. Married and gay. Many of those people you see, listen to me, they are both married with a wife and children, and they are still doing gay. Now, many of you don't know, when all those things started coming out, those were the same people. I said, I'm 2003, but that story, that's the guy. I have known since then. The guy they took from Uganda, by the time they took him to America, after they have given him money and everything, they said, you must come and be doing gay. The guy said, we don't do that in Africa. They said, they will withdraw the money, we will do everything. That's how the guy joined his ministry, as they summarize now. Listen to me. We are not perfect. I'm not better than you, you are not better than me. We're all better than what we used to be. But the Bible says that he that covereth his sin shall not prosper.